Long ago, in the dawn of time, when the world was fresh and new, God created the heavens and the earth. He filled the earth with vibrant forests, majestic mountains, vast oceans, and all kinds of living creatures. Among his creations, he made a beautiful garden called Eden, a paradise filled with lush trees, exotic plants, and clear, flowing rivers. In this paradise, God placed the first human beings, Adam and Eve, to live in harmony with all he had made. In the midst of the garden, God decided to create a being in his own image, someone who could think, feel, and reflect the beauty of his creation. From the dust of the earth, God formed a man. He shaped him with care, crafting every detail with love and precision. Then, God breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. God named him Adam. Adam opened his eyes to the breathtaking beauty of Eden. He saw the colors of the flowers, heard the songs of the birds, and felt the gentle breeze on his skin. Everything was new, vibrant, and full of life. God smiled at Adam and gave him a special role. "Adam," God said, "I have made you in my image to be the caretaker of this garden. Name the creatures that live here and take care of all that grows." Adam looked around and began to give names to every creature. He named the lion and the lamb, the eagle and the dove, the elephant and the ant. Adam felt joy as he named each creature and marveled at the wonder of God's creation. While Adam was busy naming the animals and tending the garden, he noticed that each animal had a companion, but he was alone. Though he loved the animals, he longed for a companion who was like him. Seeing this, God said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. While Adam slept, God took one of his ribs and from it created a woman. He crafted her with the same love and care, making her a perfect companion for Adam. When Adam awoke, he saw the woman standing before him. She was beautiful, graceful, and kind. Adam felt a joy unlike any he had known before. "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh," Adam said. "She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." God blessed them both and said, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and every living thing that moves on the earth." Adam and Eve lived in perfect harmony with each other and with God. They walked together in the garden, talked with God, and enjoyed all the fruits except for one tree that God had warned them not to eat from. In the center of the Garden of Eden stood two special trees: the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God told Adam and Eve, "You may eat freely from every tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you will surely die." Adam and Eve were content and obeyed God's command. They enjoyed the fruits of all the other trees and never felt the need to eat from the forbidden tree. They trusted God completely and knew that his command was for their good. Day after day, they lived in peace, knowing no pain, no suffering, and no death. They were surrounded by the beauty of God's creation and were filled with his love. One day, as Eve was walking through the garden, she came across a serpent. This serpent was unlike any other creature in the garden, for it was cunning and sly. It was the enemy of God, who had taken the form of a serpent to deceive Eve. The serpent slithered up to Eve and said, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve replied, "We may eat from the fruit of the trees in the garden, but God did say, 'You must not eat from the fruit of the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die.'" The serpent chuckled softly and said, "You will not surely die. For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the fruit of the forbidden tree. It was beautiful and looked delicious. She felt a desire in her heart that she had never felt before. The serpent's words made her curious. She wondered what it would be like to have the knowledge of good and evil, to be like God. Despite God's command, Eve reached out and took a fruit from the tree. She looked at it, hesitating for a moment, but then took a bite. The moment she tasted the fruit, her eyes were opened, and she felt a strange new sensation, one of shame and fear. Eve then gave the fruit to Adam, who was with her. Adam, too, took a bite. As soon as he ate, his eyes were opened as well. They both realized that they were naked, and for the first time they felt ashamed. In their shame, Adam and Eve sewed fig leaves together to make coverings for themselves. They hid among the trees, trying to cover their nakedness and hide from God. As evening approached, God came to walk in the garden. But Adam and Eve, hearing the sound of God, hid among the trees. God called out to Adam, "Where are you?" Adam replied, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God asked, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam answered, "The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Then God said to the woman, "What is this you have done?" Eve replied, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." God then turned to the serpent and said, "Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly and eat dust all the days of your life, and I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." To Eve, God said, "I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor, you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." To Adam, God said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return."